Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Pirantis figure from Hasbro. And this is a great looking creature. This was only in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This was actually part of the ZU2 footage, which was shot in Japan. Like, the creatures were created in Japan, all of that, but it wasn't actually used in Zyuranger. It was only used in Power Rangers. So yeah, they just did a great job with this figure. So without further stalling, let's get right in this review. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, Hasbro absolutely killed it here, and honestly, with each new monster release that they do for the Lightning Collection, they just get better and better. And you know, they're clearly having fun with this segment of the line, and that's awesome to see because these are super fun to collect. And speaking of which, this is just super fun. As you can, it's a giant fish man. I mean, how can you go wrong? And not only that, just they nailed the proportions. Even just as an action figure, period. Like, it just looks like it's going to be fun to articulate and play with, and it is. And yeah, but getting into more details of the aesthetics, you can see you got some green paint here at the bottom, hands in the face, got some blue, nice glossy red for the eyes, and as you can see, it kind of catches my lights here and almost makes it look like it has pupils. And I don't know if that was an intentional choice, but it looks really good. And I'm definitely a fan of that touch. And you can see even the inside of the mouth is painted, which is always great. We have a great sculpt up here with all the scales and, you know, the kind of the fade into the pink here. Just really, really well done all around. And I can see a case being made for, like, okay, well, there should have been a wash or something to kind of bring out some of these details. It can look a little flat at points, but I mean, certainly doesn't bother me. But it might bother you, so it's definitely worth taking note of. But other than that, I think just this is such a fun looking figure. Not too much to speak of when it comes to accessories, but still definitely some fun stuff. And so we'll start off with hands, as we generally do. And so we have a left fist right out of the box, and then a right gripping hand for the kind of fish nunchucks. And speaking of which, we do get the fish nunchucks. I know we said we'd start with hands and I already diverted, so I apologize for that. But really cool details here on the fish chucks. As you can see, full sculpt on the fish. Really nice silver for the chain and the handles, so that's really cool. Then our other pair of hands, so we get these kind of grasping, more clawed hands. Really good sculpt on these two. I really love those. And then finally we get an effects piece, and it's that kind of swooshing effect that we have seen with a lot of the TMNT Power Ranger figures, and you know, really cool effect and very versatile, so I'm kind of happy to see it there. So that's accessories. Articulation and balance is another area where this figure just absolutely shines, and as you can see, it can do quite the standing kicks without any assistance, and that is largely thanks to how big these feet are. Just gives you a really nice solid base. Helps also that the joints are super, like, not super tight, but they are just like that perfect level of tensity, which is really cool to see. So getting into the articulation from top to bottom as we do, our head, or the top of our head rather, is on a ball joint here. So you can see that kind of moving around. You can shut it, you can open it. The bottom jaw is actually kind of loose. You can see that. So that doesn't like articulate, it does move around. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but you can see the ball joint in there, and then the bottom jaw is kind of this little like hanging piece. So it gives you a little bit of freedom to move around, and you can move it left to right a little bit. So that's nice. You definitely have a little bit of leeway with it, so just be careful. We come to the arms, and these are a little harder because of how hefty these overlays are, and but we can hit our T-pose pretty much, which is really, really nice. We have bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows folding completely in half. We have hinge and swivel at the wrist, all horizontal. We have our standard Lightning Collection ball joint at the diaphragm, so we're coming all around like that. And then we have the ab crunch at the waist, and so that's bringing us about that far forward, about that far back, which is really good, especially considering all the sculpt back here. Then we come to the hips, and we're doing full splits, no problem, absolutely amazing. Coming to the thighs, thigh swivel. We have double jointed knees, which also fold completely in half. Then no boot swivel, but we do have the ankle swivel. And then we have perfect toe point, some really good forward, and then absolutely insane rocker. And then finally, we also have an articulated tail. So you can see it's just a ball joint here, and you can swivel, you can kind of move that around. Not obviously like super crazy, but definitely get some movement out of it. So incredibly fun articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other Lightning Collection figures, with a couple other Lightning Collection monsters, with some other Hasbro, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with an Articulated Icons Oni and yours truly in human form as an Articulated Icons Ninja. So my final thoughts on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Pirantishead figure is that this is a stupid amount of fun and might possibly be one of the best figures in the Lightning Collection period. I cannot convey how fun it is. And even if you're not a Power Rangers fan, like, this could fit into almost any collection. So if you like Power Rangers, if you're collecting the Lightning Collection in particular, or if you happen to be Brian from the Gothskulls, shout out to him by the way, and collect fishy style of underwater figures and have an affinity for things deep sea, absolutely pick this up. I mean, this is a place in just about anyone's collection, really. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. So that being said, I will include links in the description below to where you can pick up yours from some of my favorite online retailers. And beyond that, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and or sharing. And beyond that, if you want to take it a step further and help the channel in other ways, I will have ways to do that in the description as well. So please, please, please check those out. And yeah, all that being said, ultra thanks to you one last time for watching, and I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.